Back in the building once again, man. Fly Free Sports special playoff edition. NBA basketball. It's underway. Well, it's about to be underway. The play-in is already underway, but the playoffs are right around the corner, and we are here to preview all of the first round matchups. Ben, what's good, man?
Hey man, it's playoff time, so I had to bring the chalice back. So
Yes, sir.
get ready to get into it.
For
And yes,
sure.
there is actual libations in here for those who think I'm just sipping water. Oh, this is my wine glass.
Yes, sir. But yeah, like I said tonight. Oh, matter of fact, first and foremost, we haven't had a show since the NCAA tournament concluded.
Yep.
And like I said, the basketball capital of the world resides in what state?
That would be Connecticut, sir.
Yes, sir. Love to hear it. Love to see it. My boys took care of business, man. It wasn't close at all. Smoke Purdue second half. First half was pretty good. Second half, we did them like every other team on the way to the championship. So shout out to my boys, man. Husky Nation. Let's go. This 3P next year. I know we got a lot of guys leaving, but let's go for it.
Yeah, I mean it's UConn is all killer no filler, man. Like we just gonna go out there and just beat you. Like we don't care about your dynasty talk or lack thereof. We don't care about being a blue blood or not so much. We're just gonna go out here and win, 6 championships in 25 years. Like
I like that. All killer, no filler. I like that one.
Okay. Yeah, I stole that from somebody else, so you feel free to pass it on.
I like that. I'm using that shit from now on. Just to let you know. But yeah, it was impressive, man. Impressive showing throughout the whole tournament, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Nothing nobody could do. Like you said, it's been a lot of talk about the blue blood thing. You know what I mean? With in terms of Connecticut being one or not, and Danny Hurley said it best. Like, we don't care. All we do is win championships. So,
yep,
that's it.
Yeah, and then on the women's side, South Carolina. I mean, Dawn Staley's cut from that same cloth.
Absolutely.
So you look at, they didn't really have their players weren't touted nearly as highly as some of the other quote unquote big names in the tournament, but they just steamrolled everybody. And so they undefeated championship, like the feat of doing that is just outrageous. And we haven't really seen the likes of this since Geno and UConn.
Yep.
So congrats to I don't want to call him the Lady Cox, but
the Lady Cox is crazy.
Congrats to the South Carolina women's basketball team.
Yeah, they got to change that. They got to change their mascot or whatever. Like, they got to change this. The Gamecocks. Like, what year is that from?
I have friends that are diehard South Carolina fans, and apparently they love it there. They love saying "Go Cox." So
Go Cox.
Go Cox. That's hey, it's awesome to the fans. So hey, it's whatever. But
unbelievable.
Like, how do you recruit when you're that team? Like,
come to the Cox.
Come to the Gamecocks. I gotta be a Gamecock.
Yeah, I'm not going there off that alone, and my son not going there either. I'm not. You want to reconsider this, son? We're not doing that. We're not going to the Cox, man. We're not doing that. Absolutely not. Not
you might as well be you. Hey, we are the Charlotte Simps. Come play for the Simps.
Yeah, like, we not doing none of that. Hell no. Names matter.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
But yeah, like, shout out to Dawn Staley in South Carolina. Whatever their name is. Even though I feel like our women kind of got cheated, but that's a whole nother. We ain't gonna get into that.
Indeed.
But yeah, man. Like I said, it's playoff time, man. I'm excited about it. Exciting times. It's always exciting time. This is the best part of the year for NBA. And if you ask me, I'm one of the believers, like, you need to shorten that regular season out so we could get to this a little faster. Cut like 15 games off. Like, the last 15 really don't really matter, but I'm sure that'll never happen.
Yeah, they like their revenue too much. We don't. There's no reason for us to have 30 teams either. Like,
right.
There's no reason, but they ain't never gonna cut that because they like their money too much. So
I agree. It's not gonna happen. The play in, at first I wasn't too fond of it, but it's kind of growing on me. It's been 5 years. And every year it seems like these play-in games are top level. And the only thing, like I said, I think I brought this up on another show. The play-in games, the stats don't count for those games. It's like the most crazy thing I've ever seen. Like it doesn't count towards your playoff stats nor your regular season stats. So it's kind of weird.
That's interesting. But you're seeing that a lot. Like, you know, baseball went to like a play-in type of thing, I think like 10 or 15 years ago. And I'm not a baseball fan, first of all, but I see the impact that it's had in terms of the amount of buzz and the attention those games get. And obviously, the fans have an overwhelmingly positive response because you're engaging more fan bases over a longer period of time. So,
right.
Yeah. And it creates opportunities for Cinderella stories and all that stuff. So I see why they're doing it, and so far it's successful.
Yeah. And I think it kind of ties into what I was saying about the regular season needing to be a little shorter, because the regular season games towards the end of the year are a little bit more competitive just because of the play-in. Like people are vying for those spots or either trying to get out of the 7 into the 6 so they don't have to go through that.
Yep.
So I think that's the part that makes it interesting at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that part of it. But
Yeah,
as
they
far
should
as
start the season like Christmas. Christmas Day should be like the start of the NBA season. Just get football out the way. You know, so first of all, October baseball is still in the playoffs. Football's in full swing. College football is in full swing. Just start the NBA season like December 21st and have Christmas Day be like your first week of games, and just go from Christmas to April. And just play like 60 games, do your play in and your playoffs. You're gonna get better. You're gonna get better games, in my opinion, if you do that.
Now, I would agree with that, but my birthday is in October, and that's like the best sports month ever. Like
it really is.
I'm in like heaven when my birthday rolled around.
Even though you don't even watch half of those sports, but just the fact that you have the option.
Yeah, like I watch playoff baseball. I actually watch playoff baseball.
Yeah.
I'm not like like the regular season is way too long. Since we talking about seasons being too long, like that shit, 162 games is absurd to me.
Yeah.
But, playoff baseball. I'm into playoff baseball. And basketball, like you said, starts in October. Football's already started. College football, like that time of the year to me is like fucking everything. So
yeah, it's a good time.
But, yeah, man, for sure. But yeah, in terms of this year, the play-in, as you saw last night, the Atlanta Hawks got eliminated by the Chicago Bulls in a rout. And the night before, the Lakers beat the Pelicans, and the Sacramento Kings put out the Golden State Warriors. So where we are now is obviously Sacramento has to play New Orleans, who lost to the Lakers for their last playoff seed. And on the other side, the Chicago Bulls had to play the Miami Heat without Jimmy Butler to get that 8th seed. So before we even get into the playoff teams, who you feel will win tomorrow in those two games?
Yeah, I think Miami's trying to sneak in like they did last year, but I just think the injuries are going to be too much for them to overcome, especially against a Chicago team that's coming off of the momentum of that win. I do think that the Bulls are going to take the Heat. So I do think they're going to make it in. As far as on the other side, I think I read something that said Zion is injured.
Yeah, he's out. Yep.
So I don't see the Pelicans winning that game with Zion being out.
Me either.
So again, I think it's just a story of injuries are going to make the difference. Again, you know, Sacramento, emotional win at home against the Warriors, who have been getting all the media attention all year long.
Right.
You know, I believe they're playing with the chip on their shoulder, especially in how much they faded down the stretch at the end of the season. I think they have something to prove. So I do think that they get the win over the Pelicans.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they're obviously besides they got Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter out. But I trust De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis to pull out a win against Brandon Ingram. Is still trying to work his way back from injury. He didn't even play like in the fourth quarter of the game the other night. It was kind of weird. Like I was expecting him to be out there, especially when Zion went down. Like he never came back to the game. So that's alarming. And that says a lot. So
Yep.
Yeah, I think Sacramento will definitely get that win and go on to play OKC in the first round. Other side, uh, I'm still rolling with Miami. I just think the pedigree is still there. Jimmy Butler being out does hurt a lot, obviously, but
Mhm.
I think Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Terry Rozier, I think those guys can pull together and get a win. Unless they just let Kobe White, who went absolutely ape shit last night,
Yep.
do the same, and him and DeRozan are hitting. But I just trust Miami more in this spot. I just think they'll figure out a way to do it at home. That's not a slight to Chicago. I just don't.
Sure.
I can't see them. I can't see them in the playoffs. So just
Yeah.
off that alone, I think I'm picking Miami.
Yeah.
To,
Good. Two quick notes on that. Coach Spo, you can never count out Spo, right?
mhm.
And then you talk about De'Aaron Fox and Demonis Sabonis. Talk about a 1-2 punch. Oh my God, dude. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, man. As a former King advocate, it's kind of frustrating to see that, but whatever.
It's like any ex, man. As soon as you break up with them, they want to act right.
Yeah, she want to get bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, but whatever, man. I'm off them.
No.
Yeah. So I think first round. Let's see what we got. First one verse 8. Boston Celtics versus Miami Heat. Well, that's what I believe, but
Mhm.
I don't even really think it matters as far as the Bulls and the Heat because
Mhm.
I don't think either one of them in their current state is beating Boston. And I'm not a fan of Boston, as you know, but
Right.
I don't trust them at all in the playoffs. But I do have Boston with their versatility overcoming either one of those teams.
Yep.
I think they'll be locked in. I just don't see them going home in the first round. As much as I don't trust them, I don't see them going home in the first round. I
Yep.
think Jason Tatum will show up. I think Jaylen Brown will show up. I think, Porzingis obviously will show up. Al Horford. They're completely healthy too. So
Mhm.
they should have no problems in the first round getting past Miami or Chicago.
Yep. Yeah, I think. Well, and I may have mentioned this on the last show, but when you look at the records, the Warriors, who are in the 10 seed, were 11 games behind the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 to 10 in the Western Conference is separated by 11 games. The Knicks, who are the 2 seed, are 14 games behind the Celtics.
Wow.
So these matchups to me, nothing Eastern Conference, none of those matchups matter. it's the Celtics or bust, right? Like they are so obviously the favorite. All the pressure is on them, and if someone beats them to go to the finals, it will be a massive upset. I mean, that's just the reality that we're dealing with. And having said that, I still think there's a good chance that they get beaten and don't make it to the finals based on all the stuff that you said.
Yeah, and I have an idea who's going to beat them. I'm not going to say right now, but I don't see them going to the finals, and I think after this playoff run, I think they're going to get broken up a little bit. I think Jaylen Brown will probably be on his way out because they're not going to have enough money. They have to re-up Tatum. So I mean,
Yeah.
somebody's not going to be able to get this money that they want.
Mhm.
I just don't see them going another year. And like I said, year after year, they come up short. And in some type of way, they're going to come up short. And I think this year will probably be the final straw with that. And I think their GM will go in a different direction. I could be wrong, but this is just what I'm feeling at the moment.
I tell you what, man, if they decide to cut loose, I don't know what Jaylen Brown's contract situation is, but if they're trying to do a sign and trade or unrestricted or whatever, I mean, Golden State potentially is going to have some room on their roster.
Jaylen Brown has like the biggest contract in the NBA right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that don't matter to the Golden State, right? Like,
Right. True.
they signed KD, so they'll do that. They'll sign anybody, right? So
Yeah. Agreed. Real quick, but yeah, I think Klay Thompson is out of there too. He had a horrible showing. We didn't speak about
yeah,
that, but he had a horrible showing. 0 for 10, 0 for 6 from 3.
yeah.
I think that's
But
the end of an era for that.
yeah, it's Space Jam, man. The Monstars just done snatched him. Like he's not like I watched clips from his press conference and he just sounds so pitiful. It's like, oh well, I did a really good job of not missing games this year. Like, nigga,
Yeah.
what are you talking about right now? What are we even talking about right now? Yeah,
Yeah,
he just. I wouldn't be surprised if he retired. Like he just like I'm done with basketball. Like he just seems like his soul ain't there anymore. Um, Draymond, like they are sick of his shit. So he's gone. I mean, I think you're looking at like a complete rebuild here. Um,
They
you know,
should.
Steph is saying he still got gas in the tank, and I believe that, but it ain't a full tank, right?
No, not at 35, 36.
So I think Golden State's going to find themselves in the quandary that the Lakers did during the last few years of Kobe's career, where he's just kind of playing out his contract and they don't
Mhm.
really have the means to be able to make moves or put a winning team around him. I think that well, first of all, the dynasty's over in Golden State, and I think you're going to see Steph just kind of play out his contract and just go out like Kobe and just be a legend and a first ballot Hall of Famer, and that's it.
Mhm. Yeah. It feel I don't want to say it feel like it happened overnight, but they had a series of events that just like one after another. Like if you would have told me this 2 years ago when they won the championship that it would be over this fast, I would have told you was lying. Everything looked so promising. They had the
Mhm.
young up and comer with Jordan Poole. They had Kaminga coming up.
Yep.
Steph was in his complete prime.
Mhm.
Clay was still working his way back, and they won. They won when Clay really didn't do much. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
they had Wiseman coming back from injury the following year. So we thought like they were gonna at least compete for another championship. I don't know if anybody thought they'd win another one, but we thought at least
Yeah.
like they'll be in the thick of the in the race. So it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy to see them fall off as fast as they did from the championship.
But we have seen like rapid downfalls like this, like with the Spurs in the mid 2010s. They kind of had a rapid decline. If you want to go back to like the early 90s with the Celtics, I think they won a championship in 86.
Mm-hmm.
And by like 89, 90, they were completely cooked. Like just so we've seen declines like this happen. I mean, the
Yeah.
Bulls after Jordan, but obviously the greatest player to ever walk the planet retired. So of course you would expect there to be a rapid decline from there. But
Mm-hmm.
so we have seen this, but to your point, in all those other situations, it was either a retirement or like just injuries piling up that cause a decline. In this case, just a lot of, like you said, a lot of unfortunate events that
Right.
happen. And I think worst of all, it kind of exposes that Steve Kerr is not the basketball coaching guru that I think maybe people thought that he was. When you
Right.
just look at how his approach to the games more or less is just roll the ball out there and just whatever
Yeah.
Steph says. So
Yep. And that was being exposed.
yep. So but
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
but
And we knew that about Kerr. We everybody knew that, but we just needed a little confirmation. That's all.
yeah, yep. And we sure did get it, didn't we?
That's all. Yeah. So you got let's just get it on record. Celtics and you said Celtics Bulls. How many games?
um I think that's a sweep. I
Sweep.
think it's a sweep, yeah.
I got you down for a sweep. Celtics over Chicago sweep. Yeah, I can see that. And I'm actually gonna say Celtics 4-1 over
Okay.
Miami.
All right.
Next series. This is like a very underwhelming series, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna watch it if it's on. You know what I mean? Like if it's on the TV, whatever.
Mhm.
But Cleveland versus Orlando. It's just like I don't trust. I damn sure don't trust Cleveland because they showed what they could do last year. Orlando's like they're new to the playoff picture this year,
Mhm.
so we
Yep.
don't really know what they expect from them. I mean, they're a young team. Obviously, got the leader Paulo Banchero.
Mhm.
Um, but I do think Cleveland should win, and I think they will win. I have them winning 4-2. I got it going 6. I got Cleveland winning 4-2. I just don't trust Cleveland to be as consistent as they should be. They should get them out of there faster than that, but I think it's going to be
Mhm.
4-2.
Yeah, I think with the Magic, it's they certainly are capable of winning the series.
Mhm.
It's gonna be does Cleveland have enough? Do they have enough juice to withstand? Just the Magic are gonna have a game. There's gonna be a blowout game where the
Yeah.
Magic, their youth and their ability to really turn it on in bunches and just
Mhm.
play emotionally is they're gonna blow out the Cavs in one of these games. Can the Cavaliers withstand that with leaning on Donovan Mitchell and his playoff
Mhm.
experience can they do it? I think they do. I do think it's a 7-game series.
Ooh.
I don't see Orlando. I don't think they've got enough to beat this team 4 times with stakes like this. Um, so I do see the Cavs winning, but I think it's going to go 7 games.
Wow. Yeah, that's for a first round series to go 7 games. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I know what
but
happened last year.
I don't think it's going to be like to your point. I don't think it's going to be interesting to watch. I think most of those games are going to be snoozes because they're going to be blowouts.
Yeah, one of those type of series.
Yep.
Until the 7th game, like the 7th game might go a
Mhm.
little bit down, to the
Yep.
wire, just because
Yep.
both teams are, they're being highly competitive and
Mhm.
all that type of shit. But yeah,
Yep.
I can see that for sure. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that one.
Mhm.
Next series is Milwaukee versus Indiana. Now, this is becoming very trendy for people
Mhm.
saying that Indiana is going to upset Milwaukee. Like that's been the word on the street, man.
Mhm. Yep.
Giannis, we don't know his status. I think he'll be out at least for the first half of the series, maybe like first 2 or 3 games.
Mhm. Yep.
Who knows if he'll return? So now it's on Dame. You know what I mean? They bought him
Mhm.
in, the
Yep.
prized acquisition. It's up to him and they have enough. To me, it's like they've still built their roster to a point where they can sustain without
Mhm.
Giannis. Like he doesn't have to be there for this type of series. Now, if they were
Yep.
playing Boston or somebody like that, then I would be a little bit more worried.
Mhm. Yep.
But I think um Dame will step up. He will rise to the occasion. Your boy Bobby Portis, the mailman that be barbecuing, that work at the
Oh,
post office.
the responsible father, Bobby
Yeah,
Portis.
yeah, that nigga was hooping. Like I'm one of them games
Mhm.
last week. He had like 26 at halftime. So
Mhm.
if
Yep.
we get that version of Bobby, um, Brooke Lopez out there hooping, Pat Connaughton, the rest of the guys, Pat Bev is a big addition for them, especially in
Mhm.
playoff basketball, bringing that intensity.
Yep.
Um, Yeah, man. I have no reason to believe. I know Indiana's dangerous. I know Tyrese Halliburton,
Mhm.
Turner, and all them boys, man. I know they're more than capable. Like you said, they're more than
Mhm.
capable of winning some games. But I have to roll with Milwaukee. Same thing in that series, 4 games to 2, 6 games.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to depend a lot on Giannis and the nature of this injury. I still think the Bucks have enough to beat them,
Mhm.
but I think it's going to go either 6 or 7, depending upon how much Giannis plays. Reading about the nature of the injury, where it's kind of this kind of freak thing where he just strained his calf jogging up the court. It
Mhm.
actually reminds me a lot of, I think it was Greenlaw, the linebacker for the 49ers in the Super
49ers.
Bowl, where he
Yeah.
was just running out and he just collapsed.
Mhm.
Reminds me a lot of Kate D with his Achilles injury in the playoffs. What was that, 2018 or 2019?
2019.
So, so like, and it's kind of a nagging injury. And I currently have problems with my calf, Achilles, and foot on my left leg. Now, I ain't no NBA player, but I know that those things can linger. And when you got tendon issues, the healing process for that is much slower than it is for like a bone break.
Mhm.
So that is something that you have to is something that can get real, it can break bad really fast if you're not managing it properly. So it'll be interesting to see. But when you talk about that team and on paper, how much they won 49 games this year in a relatively weak Eastern Conference. So the team in general has not performed up to expectations based on the roster that they have. Their record is way worse than their roster is.
Yes.
So now, having said that, there are plenty of teams that underwhelm in the regular season and then set the world on fire during the playoffs.
Miami.
Right. We have a perfect example from last year. So can they turn it on? We'll see. I think it's going to depend a lot on Giannis's calf.
Okay. How many games you got for that series?
I think Giannis's injury is worse than we expect. So I'm thinking that one's going to go 7 as well. But the Bucks will win.
7-game series for the Bucks. Yeah. Highly possible. Highly possible, man.
Yep.
This is Halliburton's first playoff action. So I'm excited to see him play in the playoffs.
Yeah. That first game in Indiana is going to be electric, bro. Like the Bucks are not winning that game. They're not winning that first one in Indiana.
Giannis may be back by then. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
That's game 3, so we'll see.
Yep.
Next matchup is the Knicks versus the 76ers, man. I'll let you kick this one off and see what you think about this one.
So this is interesting because the Knicks have they faded. Well, they were really hot. Both these teams are really hot to end the season. 76ers especially so. I think that when Embiid went out, I think people was like, all right, pack up the Sixers, they're done. But they've played really inspired basketball. The last month of the season, they've just played really inspired basketball, and the performance they put on in the play-in to make it into the playoffs, they've got a ton of momentum coming into the playoffs. So, I still though think that the Knicks are going to be too much. I think that Jalen Brunson, this is going to be the official coming out party for Jalen Brunson. And I think the Knicks are going to be too much for the 76ers, and I have them winning in 6.
Yeah. I like everything the Knicks are doing this year. I do. The additions of OG Anunoby, Bojan Bogdanovic, they're getting to a point where they're like a piece away from like really being championship contenders. And and with a little luck this year, they could possibly come out of the East. It's not far-fetched. I think they have the players to do it. Josh Hart, another guy I like. DiVincenzo been balling. Like Dante DiVincenzo been going crazy this year. That's a perfect fit for them. Now he was another big pickup that nobody seems to be talking about.
Yep.
Everything with them was health. It was health, right? Julius Randle, he's gone. So to me, that's addition by subtraction to me. Like I'm not high on him at all.
Right.
So as far as he goes, like they might be better off because he's a ball stopper. I know motherfuckers know the old term ball stopper. He is definitely a ball stopper, and they don't need that in their offense. They need everything to be free flowing. Jalen Brunson running the show and making the decisions. But I'm highly impressed by the Knicks. I think they will win this series fairly easy. I think a little bit easier than people would think. I have them winning 4-1. Embiid is definitely not getting swept, but he doesn't look like himself. Even in the game last night where they played Miami, he didn't look like himself. So
yeah, I think he's still working his way back. Big guys and leg injuries.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's obviously still working his way back. Tyrese Maxey, he's gonna be there. But outside of those two, I mean, there's nothing else. Tobias Harris has to be the most overpaid motherfucker in the league. Like, I don't understand. He does nothing. Like, you forget he's on the court.
Was he the one that Jimmy Butler had shouted out when he was walking to the back? Tobias Harris over me?
Yeah, I mean, and I feel him. Like, Tobias Harris ain't shit. Like, I hate to say it like that, but he ain't shit, man.
He ain't shit. Oh, that's funny.
In comparison to what he get paid. Now, he's a decent player, But for what he's getting paid, it's like, yo, you need more production out of a guy who getting paid that much money. Like that shit is crazy. I ain't counting his pockets and no shit, but hey, my mans, you got to step up a little bit more than what you doing. Like there's
Right.
no reason for you to be getting paid like that and not being putting up big numbers in the playoffs. That shit is crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're built how they're built. Obviously, everything is Embiid and Maxey, and we're gonna just ride those two horses. So they're gonna go only as far as those horses can take them.
You know, they got Kelly Oubre, another motherfucker. I don't really like his game.
His hairline is questionable, so that allowed that. I questioned his game because of his hairline. Like, so my mother told me a long time ago, you can tell a lot about a person's mental state by looking at how their hair is done. And for me, like, that's when I knew like Jimmy was going to have a weird year because he did that emo shit with the perm. Like, yeah, that's the Heat. They're not going to be that good.
He ain't ready. Yeah, he ain't ready. Definitely ain't ready. I was wondering what the hell he was doing too.
Like, yeah, but it's a whole bunch of soyness happening right now in current sports situations that we're not gonna get into it, but we both have discussed this off stream about you know, just sexuality.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
Getting nails painted and shit. Like,
oh my God.
And says the person that got a pedicure today, right? But I do it for therapy because I need to get my feet treated and taken care of, probably because I have foot issues. So I go for relaxation and comfort, but I ain't painting them shits. I ain't getting, they ain't down there brushing my damn nails. I'm getting some pretty young thing rubbing on my calves. That's why I go.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. See, I think people starting to like confuse like maintenance to your body with like just you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah, we ain't got time to talk about that. That's another show.
But yeah, Philly, they just got a bunch of they got Jags. You know, they call them Jags, just a guy. Like they just got a whole bunch of them on their team. Like Kyle Lowry. Everybody know how I feel about Kyle Lowry. I don't like his ass. He's a bum.
He is too voluptuous to be playing basketball. Like
nigga said voluptuous.
Man, calm your hips and ass down. Like, why you got hips and ass like that? You should be man. That's not your sport. You should be. I don't know what sport that is, but this one ain't it. Play football. They got big asses in football. This basketball, you ain't supposed to be built like that. So,
no Diddy.
Pause.
No Diddy.
No Diddy.
No
I love that. No Diddy. Yeah, we need to normalize that phrase. No Diddy.
Shit, it's pretty normalized now. But yeah, Philly ain't shit. They just ain't shit. I mean, they got your boy Campaign. You know what I mean?
You know I love Campaign.
But yeah, they out of there. 5 games, man. I got them out of there in 5.
Okay.
Who you took the Knicks in how many games?
Oh, I didn't say. I think 5 games. Also, I'm gonna agree with you there. Again, Sixers been playing so inspired, but Thibodeau's gonna have the boys ready to roll. And Brunson's he's still got that chip on his shoulder. I think he wants to make a statement. This is his coming out party.
Yeah, that boy dangerous, man. I like Jalen Brunson, man.
Yeah, he's. It seems like he was born to be a Knick, right? Just his style of play, the grittiness. Like he is a New York Knick, right? So great,
like his pops, like Rick.
Yeah, right, exactly. So
yeah, so that concludes the first round for the East. In the West, OKC, we both got OKC going against Sacramento. I think this might be the series of the first round. I think this would probably be the most entertaining. Sacramento has that year under their belt of experience last year, going to the 7 with Golden State. And OKC is the opposite. This is their first rodeo. You know what I mean? They haven't been in this position. All the young guys, first playoff game. And I'm so excited to see these two teams play each other, man. I think that's gonna be a fucking barn burner. Of course, my boy SGA playoff debut.
Yeah,
I want to see SGA go crazy, man. Like, I want to see him up the production. You know, they say all the stars are supposed to raise their numbers from the regular season into the postseason. That's what I want to see from SGA. It's just it's go time. This is time to prove that he's the guy that we think he is.
Yep.
And I think eventually they will gut this series out. But I do have this series going 7 games. I think De'Aaron Fox and them boys are tough. They're gonna push them to the limit. But I think OKC has enough firepower to come out of it in 7.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take OKC in 6, but that's not the way that you think. I think that Sacramento is going to come out and they're going to win game 1 in OKC. They're going to snatch that game, and that's going to put OKC on the back foot. I think they're going to come back strong in game 2 and win that decisively. I think they're going to split the games in Sacramento. So they'll be 2-2 going in. OKC comes back and wins at home and then pulls out an overtime thriller in Sacramento in game 6 to close the series out. That's how I see this series going.
Very descriptive.
So I have OKC in 6. I know people are like, how do you come up with this? Like, I don't know. This is how I see it. So
that was tough though.
Yeah, OKC is 6, but I could very easily see it going 7 games.
Yeah. To me, it just has 7 games written all over it, man. Like only because of the experience factor. I think I think a couple years down the road, this wouldn't even be a discussion.
Yeah.
But OKC got to get their feet wet, man. We ain't seen them in this situation. So I'm kind of erring on the side of caution with this one.
Yep. For sure.
But I do think they will get it done eventually, though. I just think they have too much, man. Like when you factor in all those shooters, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Joe, Chet, you know what I mean? Like it's I think it's just too much for Sacramento to overcome. I don't think Sacramento offensively can hang with them. But you know, I guess we'll see. That's why they play the games, man.
That's why they play the games.
Next game in the West. This is another tough one. I'll let you lead this one off. The Clippers versus the Dallas Mavericks in the 4 versus 5. Clippers home court advantage.
Yeah, I think that this is, the Clippers are such a sad story from a franchise standpoint. So much promise when they were able to land Kawhi and Paul George. I think that was the same offseason that they got both those players. And then, on paper, adding James Harden, adding Westbrook. And, they just got really hot, in the middle of the season. And then they just stopped caring. They just stopped caring about winning games. Kawhi, of course, is ever injured. Always mysterious. It just seems like they're not really interested in playing basketball. Like they're not interested in pursuing a championship. I think they're just interested in like being on the court and dribbling and shooting and not actually playing. Like it just seems like they're not. And when I say they, I'm talking specifically about Kawhi, because Westbrook gives 100%. He plays like his car is double parked on fire all the time. Harden is he is the least trustworthy player in the entire playoff roster on the entire and of all the teams. He is the one that you bet against because he's going to disappear. Paul George kind of being your steady Eddie, but just Kawhi is just so aloof so much. Like how can you reasonably rely? How can you say confidently this team is going to beat anybody 4 times out of 7? Especially with the Mavericks. Like the experiment in Dallas is going better than expected. Everybody thought that Luka and Kyrie were just going to have this meltdown, but they seem to be embracing, like literally embracing. I was watching the game when I was in Dallas for the Eclipse. They had the game on in a restaurant, and the emotion that they showed, they came back from behind in a possible lead, won the game in overtime, and they were like embracing each other on the court. Like it seemed like there's genuine chemistry and camaraderie between those players. It's working. Like Kyrie is acting right. Like how can you can have nothing but optimism for that team's future if he's acting right and the way they're playing. So I I have the Mavericks handily beating the Clippers in this series. I have the Mavericks in 6.
Yeah. Like you said, man, it's tough to hang your hat on the Clippers, man. Kawhi, we know he's dealing with the knee inflammation or whatever the hell they're saying it is. It's tough, man. I want to say Dallas is going to win handily. The Clippers, to me, still have a shot to win this series. I know it sounds crazy, but if Kawhi Leonard can be at least like 80%, if he can go out there and give like 80% of himself, we don't know what he is currently.
Right.
But if he can go out there and play at about 80%, man, I think it'll be a very, very competitive series. Obviously, a much more competitive series than it would be if he wasn't playing.
Yep.
Like guys like Norman Powell, like I like his game. But then you scale it back with, like you said, James Harden being the most unreliable piece of shit on the planet.
It just sounds so much funnier when you say it.
It's just like like you said, man, I cannot put money on James Harden winning, and then you couple that with Russell Westbrook running around like a chicken with his head cut off. It's just it's too much if. It was way too much if with the Clippers. We know Dallas is coming in, Kyrie and Luka gonna be Kyrie and Luka. Like we know that for a fact.
Yep.
Barring injury, those two are gonna be who they are. I got Dallas. I got Dallas in. Got Dallas in 6. I'm gonna show the Clippers a little love. They're gonna get 2 games. They'll actually win. I think they'll actually win 1 on the road. I think the Mavs will drop 1 at home, but I do have them coming out of the series, man. It's just like you said, man. It's too much. Too much James Harden. Too much if. We don't know if Kawhi is gonna be Kawhi.
Right.
So what can you do? 4-2, man. 4-2.
Yep.
Get them up out of here, man.
Absolutely.
That's why I wish Chase was here, because remember he said the Clippers was his pick to come damn near come. Did he say come out of the West or like almost come out? It was something to that effect. Like
I think I just zoned out when you start talking about the Clippers. Like, okay, I'm not even gonna pay any attention to this.
But he gonna be back on one of these episodes probably next week. We'll probably have a game or 2 under our belt, so
yep,
we'll be able to do some further analysis on that. But that's something to keep an eye on. Who is next? This one is interesting. I want to hear you lead off on this one too. Minnesota, the 3rd seed versus the 6th seed, Phoenix Suns.
Okay, I'm glad I'm leading this one because I want you to lead the next one because I have some commentary that I need to go second on the next series. So for this one, I think that I'm taking the Suns for one reason and one reason only. Kevin Durant done cut his fucking hair.
He did?
Yeah.
I ain't see that.
Like, maybe I saw an old picture, but I saw that he had recently cut his hair. And I'm like, okay, this nigga is taking it seriously. So again, the Suns, another one of those teams that have kind of underwhelmed when you look at their record this year. Now, again, it is a much better conference. But I am not ready. I'm not ready to trust the Timberwolves. I'm not ready to trust Karl Anthony Towns and all of his gender fluidity. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to, like, Anthony Edwards. Like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to say that I believe that this team is as good as their record indicates from a playoff standpoint. I have seen KD snatch the hearts and souls out of teams. I have seen the nuclear bomb that Devin Booker can be. So I'm gonna go with the proof in the pudding, and that's the Suns. But I think the Timberwolves are gonna give him everything. So I am gonna say 7 games, but I do see the Suns coming out of that series in 7.
Interesting. I hate to echo the same the same thing. Minnesota, for as high as they've been all year, like you said, it's just hard to trust it, man. I don't think I'm ready either. I know they have like the best. This is a contrast in rosters too. Minnesota has like the number 1 defense statistically, I think, in the NBA, and Phoenix is obviously one of the better offensive teams. So something has to give. It's one of those type of series. Rudy Gobert, he's another guy I don't trust in playoff basketball. They have a few of those guys on their team. Kyle Anderson, I don't trust his ass because he was on our team a few years ago and I wanted him gone. So slow-mo, get him the fuck out of here. Anthony Edwards is like their saving grace, but he, like you said, it's just I don't think it's time, man. I don't think it's time, and he's not going to carry them by himself over KD and Book and Brad Beal and Nurk and all them boys. Like, I think Bol will see some good minutes this series. They'll use him. I know the rotations get shorter, but I think Bol will get some minutes. Yeah, Grayson Allen, he's another one. He just re-signed. I think like 70 million. Grayson Allen, they use him. Like, I think he's like the highest. He has like the highest percentage of threes in the league this year.
Yep.
There's just fundamentally too many things for Minnesota to overcome to me.
Yep.
And I have the series actually going shorter. I got Phoenix in 5. Yeah. I think I know that's putting a lot of confidence in KD and them because they don't play no fucking defense. Like, I don't know if I have them going past this round or past the next round, but I think they'll be able to survive because Minnesota is not gonna. They're not gonna put too much pressure on him. Cat is just coming back, so he's gonna probably be out of rhythm. He ain't really been playing, so I don't think they'll see too much pressure getting out of this first round. And we know, like you said, Book, he'll go nuclear real quick. I don't think Beal has played his best basketball. He might step it up a level in the playoffs. He hasn't played playoff basketball in a while, so he's probably anxious to get back out there.
Yep.
I just think it's too many factors, man. Too many factors going against Minnesota for them to compete in this series, man. I think Ant is gonna have games where he goes the fuck off, though. I think he might average like close to 40 in this series.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be enough, though.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, so that's 4-1 Minnesota for me. You had him in what, 7?
I had him in 7. You had him in 5.
Okay. Yeah. This is the one that I like because I know for a fact LeBron and AD are going to the fucking crib and I don't have to hear nothing else about them. Yes, this is best case scenario for me.
Yep.
As the resident LeBron hater. I couldn't be more happy. I think they're just gonna get suffocated, man. Like, just to put it plainly. Denver is the superior team, superior all the way across the board. No matter how you slice it and dice it. Yoke is gonna damn near average a triple-double, if not average a triple-double. Jamal Murray gonna get his. KCP gonna do his normal 1-2 on them niggas. It's just as Michael Porter Jr., he might or might not show up. I don't even really think it matters. He inconsistent, but I don't really think it matters in this series. I got Denver in the cakewalk, man. Another 4-1 series for me. Another 4-1.
So I want to talk about Christmas of 2022, right? I want to take you back in time, and I want you to think about how many birthdays you celebrated in your house with your children and your wife and yourself since then, right? You've had 10 birthdays or so that you've celebrated since then. Think about how many meals you've eaten in the last 500 days. Me personally, I could tell you, I've taken probably over 1,000 shits in the last 500 days because I'm extremely regular. So probably more information you want to know, but just know that my digestive system is like, it runs regular, right?
Peak
Trains run
performance.
on time. Yeah, peak performance. I'm very efficient. I've gotten 30 something paychecks in the last 500 days. That's the last time that the Lakers beat the Nuggets. The Lakers have not beaten the Nuggets since December of 2022, right? We were still wearing masks to go to the mall in December of 2022.
You know what? I'm gonna change that to a sweet. Go ahead, continue.
You good? You good?
Continue.
It's so you pair that. So there's a psychological impact that has, right? When you coming off of the big win they had against the Pelicans, and LeBron audibly was heard back going to locker room saying how exhausted he was because of the number of minutes he had to play to get them over the hump to win that game. And I said this at the beginning of the season, your best player can't be 40 years old. Like that's not a winning formula for you. And the Lakers, in spite of the prediction I had, have been pretty healthy the whole season. So where they are, that is the best that they could possibly hope to be, right?
Yep.
This is peak Lakers. And their best player is exhausted from this series. He's got a few days to catch his breath, but then you got to go into that high altitude in Denver and get your shit pushed in for 2 games. Right? And they're not gonna get a win against the Nuggets. It's not happening. Somewhere in the middle of game 2, we will see Anthony Davis roll around on the court injured, probably earlier than that. And it's gonna come crashing down for them. And while a lot of my predictions at the beginning of the year have not come true, and I'm glad because I predicted LeBron would have a catastrophic injury. I'm glad that he didn't get hurt, but I still think there's an outside chance that they get eliminated from this series, and LeBron still pressures the Lakers to draft his son in order to get sympathy. So I think that Bronny still comes to the Lakers, and at the end of the second round as an unrestricted free agent, he'll play with his dad, and his dad is going to play with his son out the rest of his contract. That's my prediction. Lakers completely get destroyed. They get swept off of every floor that they will play on the rest of the year. Nuggets go over 4-0. Jokic is on a warpath. He's trying to repeat.
Sounds about right, man. This that's literally worst case scenario if you're a Lakers fan or the Lakers. Like they drew the worst possible first round opponent. Like that is crazy. It almost made me feel like they would lose that game on purpose to the Pelicans the other night, but they didn't. Like they went hard to win, and this is the prize, I guess, because this is a horrible matchup, especially for somebody like Anthony Davis. I know he can't stand Jokic. Like he destroys him every time they play each other. This shit is like it's got to be the most humbling thing ever for a guy like him who's supposed to be this superstar and taking over the reins of the Lakers and all that. Like it's just like, yo, I know he hates playing against Nikola Jokic. This shit is almost not fair at this point.
Yeah.
But maybe he'll surprise and have a 40-10 game, 40-15 or something. Because that's what it's gonna take. Like they're gonna have to do something real drastic to get a game or two. Like it's gonna have to be something like that.
I don't think it matters. I mean, him and LeBron can both get 40, but the team is gonna have to score 130.
You don't believe in D'Lo and Hachimura and them and Austin Reeves and
the problem. There's only one basketball, Justin, and it's really hard to get your role players into rhythm when your 40-year-old point guard insists upon being the focal point of offense. Like it's just hard to get those young guys into the rhythm. And Austin Reeves, I think he's an extremely underrated player. He got it. He got game, bro. Like he could play for real. But I think that the environment that he's in he's not able to properly develop and take his game to the next level because his teammate, his point guard, has self-professed himself to be the greatest player of all time. So how the hell can you get proper development when you're playing alongside a 40-year-old delusional man?
Definitely delusional. Definitely.
Almost as delusional as that jersey I showed you, Dak Prescott with the Jordan as a Jordan logo.
Man, for y'all watching, he sent me a picture. He texted me a picture of he went to the AT&T Stadium in Dallas. And they in the stadium they were selling paraphernalia with Dak Prescott's name under a Michael Jordan logo.
Yep.
How fucking delusional.
With Prescott in like reaching up with like sweatpants.
Like I've never seen something so blasphemous in my life. Like that is the most disrespectful. Like, come on, man.
Oh my God.
Like I know that's y'all home stadium and all that. Like, we get it, bro. But you can't sell false shit at your team store. Like, that's kind of crazy.
And the thing is, like, everything about that stadium is impressive. Like it is an architectural marvel. The tour was excellent. I just wish I liked the team. I would have enjoyed the experience more if I didn't hate the team.
I don't even think I could go in there. I might start like my heart might start beating too fast or something like for real. Like, I might have a stroke or something going in there. Like,
man. Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't think I could take it. Like seeing all the cowboy shit all around. Like I probably lose my mind. Like,
oh man,
I throw up. I bring a barf bag in there.
It's funny. So we got to go. I got to tell this story. So first of all, the tour guy, he was excellent. He brought us to the part of the stadium where they had the championship banners. He's like, "Yeah, we got 5 championship banners." And someone in the tour was like, "Yeah, they pretty old. You don't have any recent ones up there." The tour was like, "Yep, we still got 5 of them. They may have a lot of dust on them, but we got 5 of them."
Damn, got them VHS championships. Yeah, them black and white TV joints.
Oh man, your last Super Bowl wasn't even in 1080p, much less 4K.
Crazy.
It wasn't even high definition.
Like you niggas literally have to find a VCR, a working VCR, a VHS tape to watch y'all last Super Bowl on y'all TV.
Oh,
that's crazy to me.
Like the kids say, your last Super Bowl was in the late 1900s.
Like, I was still like sitting at the crib eating cereal, looking at the back of the cereal box, swinging my feet last time y'all won a Super Bowl. Like, and I'm damn near 40 years old. Like that's
oh man,
that's kind of crazy. Like
the last time they won a Super Bowl, I hadn't even flunked out of college the first time yet.
Wow,
I was still in college, bro.
Like, what was the number 1 song on the charts back then? Like, somebody got to let me know that. Like
98, probably Destiny's Child.
No, it wasn't even 98. This shit was like 95.
Oh, 90. That's right, 95. Yo, shit.
Yeah, like we talking about Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise type
I was
shit.
about to say Dangerous Mind soundtrack.
Like, yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer was running around. Yeah.
Oh, Boyz II Men on Bended Knee.
Damn.
Oh,
so y'all got on Bended Knee championship.
That's good. That's some Skilo shit right there. I wish it was a little bit taller.
That's crazy.
Oh man, back to basketball. We can talk about the Cowboys all night. Ooh,
yeah.
That was good. That was funny.
Oh, horrible, man. Y'all niggas is horrible. One last thing about you niggas is horrible. Y'all never gonna win a championship. And we gonna do this NFL show too. Like I'm gonna do that when NFL season come. Anybody want to be a part of that? You're free to come and join and talk this shit because I'm gonna be going crazy. Like my Giants, we back. You know what I mean? We outside. So just to let y'all, have a heads up, man. September, August, around that time, we're gonna start kicking that off.
Yep.
But yeah, the Lakers, them niggas going home. Long story short, they going home. I'm glad. Get them niggas the fuck out of here. AD with the unibrow, he could fly back to the crib with the unibrow. You know what I mean? LeBron, we'll see you next year with Bronny or whatever you gonna do. I'm tired of seeing you. We will enjoy the rest of these playoffs without having to hear about LeBron James every other day. Just don't do no dumb shit like you did last year and try to announce a fake retirement to get the attention back on you. We don't care, nigga. If you're gonna retire, retire. Like we don't give a fuck. Like get out of here. Scram, nigga.
Scram. You said scram. Damn. You went back to the 40s. Scram,
nigga. Beat it. Anyone you want to use. You know what I mean?
Damn. What is this? Bugsy Siegel? You said scram. God damn.
Scram, nigga.
you took it way back before both our mamas was born. Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, man. That's pretty much, man. That's pretty much it for the first round. Like I said, we could get to talk about these matchups a little more as they progress, man, in the coming weeks.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Game
Yeah.
by game or whatever, wherever we at when we do the next show. It's gonna be fun times, though. Fun times. I love the NBA playoffs, man. It's a different level of basketball. We separating the men from the boys, and some niggas got to go home. Somebody got to go home. You know what I mean? So
the best part of me is like the going fishing segment on Inside the NBA. That's like the best part.
They got the niggas in the boat. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Oh, it's good stuff, man.
Can't wait to see LeBron on the boat next week.
Oh yeah, it ain't gonna take long. Ain't gonna take long.
Facts. Well, yeah, man. Dope ass show tonight, man. Ben, we back, man. We back.
Yeah, we back.
Yo, you niggas pull up. I'm tired. I'm like, look, I'm tired of throwing the invitation out there. If you scared, say you scared, man. Come get chopped up for them weak ass takes y'all be making. And y'all probably know who I'm talking to.
They know who they are.
I'm tired of arguing with niggas through typing and texting and all that shit. Like, if you got something bold to say, come put the shit on camera so niggas could critique your takes, man. Stop being scared. We in the business. We talking basketball. We talking basketball. We in the business of talking basketball, man. Like, don't be afraid, man. Jump out there. You know what I mean? So, all you niggas be hating on Michael Jordan and all that shit. Pull up. This is a safe place, man. This is a safe place.
Yeah. How the young kids say it? Stand on business, man.
Stand on business, man. At
Come
all
on
times.
This camera for posterity.
That's a fact, man. And we will be back next Thursday or the following Thursday, but we will be back for sure. Ben, any final words?
I'm looking forward to seeing LeBron get his shit pushed in. That's it. I got my popcorn ready.
Likewise, man. Definitely looking forward to that. Another week, man. Fly Free Sports NBA Playoff Edition, round 1. Like I said, we're gonna be back talking about these games a little bit more in depth as they go. So y'all lock in with me, like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. And wear rubber. We out of here.